Hey YouTube, welcome to Veda 06, and I'm coming to you a little bit dressed up because I just got back from an interview where I taught a 3rd grade class all about how to get away from bullies. Today is our first book club Wednesday, so what I thought I'd do, because I need to make this video kind of quickly, is I'm going to share 5 of my top favorite books, maybe not my top 5, but 5 of the ones from my bookshelf that I pulled off and wanted to share. And then I'm going to share 5 books that are on my bookshelf that I've never read, or I've only partially read, and that I really need to read or really want to read. First up on my list of favorites is The Giver. I read this book in middle school for the first time. I fell in love with it, and it actually has 2 companion books that, vaguely go off of this plot. Not that much. They're kind of plots in their own, but I read them all 3 pretty much in succession, and I really enjoyed them. So check them out if you haven't already. Next up, this is a new read that my sister Amy told me about. It's called Light Boxes, and at first I thought I was going to hate it, but I finished it in about 2 hours. It's a pretty quick read, and it is a very metaphorical book. If you like stuff that actually makes sense and has a plot, this isn't for you, because there's not a lot of a plot to it. It's more of philosophical and a lot of interpretation, but that's what I loved about it. It was just kind of very random. So yeah, it's a quick read. Check it out. At least read the first few pages. If you hate it, don't finish it, but if you get tied in like I did, then maybe you'll like it. Next book, The Great Gatsby by S. Scott Fitzgerald. I don't know why I like this book, because there were times where I was reading it where I thought it was pretty bad, but then once I got through it, I guess I appreciated it because it was different than what I normally read in high school. I will say that it's one of my favorites. I haven't touched on it in a while, so maybe I'll revisit that soon. This is a duo book, but I got it for Animal Farm, another book I read in high school, and I fell in love with. I just like the satirical humor that the author pulls in. I didn't mean to show that. I just want to show Animal Farm. And number 5 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And the reason I picked this one is because A, it's my favorite book of the series, but second of all, if I say that you must read this, I am implying that you must read the first 6 as well, which I recommend, because you can't read the 7th one without reading the first 6. So, best book I've read in a long time, best series. I mean, I love Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling is just a great author. She's just good at coming up with imaginative stuff, and I think that the way she tied together the series with this book was superb. And now for 5 books that I have not read that I'd like to read, and if you have read, you can comment below. Darkly Dreaming Dexter. It's the book that the show is based off of, and I love the show. So I'm sure that I would love the book. Next one, Ashley mentioned this, and this is probably going to be my read for the month, Tuesdays with Mari. I don't honestly know why I haven't read it yet, but I've been meaning to. I love Mitch Albom. Some of his books are some of my favorites. The reason I didn't pull any of his books is because I didn't want to give the same author 2 shout-outs, and I would think this one's more important to show that I really want to read this one. But I do like a lot of his books, and they probably would make my top book list. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I've heard a lot of good news about this series, and I just bought the first 2, I think. Would like to read them. Haven't started them at all. I'm going to eventually. It's in my list of books to read. Number 4, Agatha Christie, and Then There Were None. I actually have it bookmarked. It looks like I got to page 8. Fail. I like mystery, so that's why I picked this up, and Agatha Christie's one of the big mystery authors that her name is out there, and thought I might enjoy it, but I haven't got into it yet, so we'll see if I ever get to that one. And finally, Ken Follett's Pillars of the Earth. I actually got probably a third of the way through this, was really into it, and then I got busy, I don't know what at the time, but I put it down, and when I put a book down, it's hard to get back into unless I start at the beginning. So someday I will take on this mammoth book again, because I do want to know what happened. I will start from the beginning when I do read it. Sorry that was kind of quick today, but I got a lot to do. But I hope that you all are having a good week. I hope you're enjoying my videos. Today's maybe wasn't that interesting, but if you're a book fan, you can comment below, tell me what you've read, what you haven't read, what you recommend. Have a good week. I'll see you all tomorrow.